Present at the front table to my far right is Ken Richardson, a voting member.
Evening.
To my right, Bill Rose, a voting member. My immediate left, Bill Malone, esteemed solicitor. Next to Bill is Ed McGargy, a voting member. And next to Ed is Jessica Vitale, a voting member.
Good evening.
We have two decisions, a few continued cases, and a few new cases on the agenda tonight. Before we begin, Kenny, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Please rise and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first decision tonight is case Z19-22, Lawrence Norton, owner of 636 Dayton Road, Bryn Mawr, PA, DC folio numbers 2205 00294900, who seeks to construct a 12-foot by 18-foot deck in the rear yard, requiring a variance from the following provisions. Section 182-208C1D, to further exceed the 40% maximum building coverage permitted on the lot. Section 182-208C1F1, to encroach into the 7-foot side yard setback on each side and provide a 0-foot aggregate. And section 182-208C1G, to encroach into the rear yard setback. The property is zoned R6 and located in the 5th ward. Bill, would you please take that decision?
Yes, I would vote to approve the three requested variances, subject to the following conditions. The outermost portions of the deck shall be no closer than 2 feet from the side yard property lines. There will be no enclosures constructed on or below the deck. No plumbing or audio speakers shall be installed, and the project will be completed in accordance with the notes of testimony and within 1 year of the date of this decision.
Kenny?
I concur.
Jessica?
Concur.
Ed?
I agree.
And so do I. That application is approved 5-0 with those conditions. Our next decision is case Z19-18, School District, Haverford Township, owners of the property located at 200 Mill Road, Havertown, PA, who seek variances from the provisions of section 182-602C3, building coverage, 182-602C4, front yard setback, 182-602C7, building height, and 182-602C8, impervious coverage, to allow construction of an addition to the high school for additional classrooms and updates to music and arts and physical education. The property is zoned institutional, located in the 7th ward. Jessica, would you please take that decision?
Yes. I would like to start by saying that I am disappointed the applicant never provided the traffic impact study requested by the board. But notwithstanding that, I move to approve the application with the following conditions: that 50% of the new roof will be a green roof system to reduce the additional impervious coverage, and that construction will be completed within 18 months from the issuance of building permits and in compliance with the notes of testimony.
Ed?
I agree.
Kenny?
Because the applicant opted not to honor our request for an impact traffic study, I vote no.
Bill?
I would ask that the movement consider an additional condition, which is that the applicant provide the township, upon completion, an as-built survey that shows and delineates each individual parking spot within the parcel and identify each and every restrictions on the use of those individual parking spots, and that it be filed with the township to be included with the property records.
And do you have a time frame for them providing that?
Oh, yeah, within, I'd say within 2 months of completion.
I accept that condition.
Then I would agree, I would vote to agree with the motion.
Ed?
I agree.
Kenny? You're still a no?
I'm still a no.
Difficult decision. I'll vote to approve the application with those conditions. Our first continued case is Z19-21, Scott and Lindsay Rockers, owner of 2019 Oakmont Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 220301699900, who seek a variance from provisions of section 182-206C6A to allow the construction of a 476 square foot addition and 40 square foot ADA ramp that will encroach into the required 8-foot side yard setback and 20-foot side yard aggregate total, and a variance from the provisions of section 182-206C5A to encroach into the required 30-foot front yard setback. Property is zoned R4, located in the 3rd Ward.
Mr. Kane, we received a request from counsel for the applicant, who has since entered his appearance, for a continuance to October 17, 2019. As you know, there is a neighboring property owner who is also represented by counsel. They did reach out to me as well, indicating they consented to the continuance to October 17, 2019, and all parties have agreed to waive the time constraints contained within the MPC for completion of hearings and conduction of hearings. So I would recommend continuance to our October 17, 2019 hearing.
Any discussion? In that case, we continue to our October 17th hearing. All right, our next case is Z19-24, Bricks of Havertown LLC.
You can just go through this.
Trading as Brick and Brew, owner of 29-31 East Eagle Road, Havertown, PA, folio numbers 220300815000 and 220300816000.
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
I see counsel for both the applicant and protestant here. I understand there's a motion for a continuance on behalf of the applicant, or a request or a motion, and I would ask that you hear both counsel concerning that.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Finton McHugh again. I was here a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. We are again requesting a continuance of tonight's hearing. We are in the process of supplementing our plans and evidence to address a number of the concerns that were raised at the hearing last time in order to, I think, address some of the board's concerns as well as the public's concerns. Also, we have all of our principals of Brick and Brew are out of town in Rhode Island at a wedding right now, and they want, at least 2 of them wanted to be here in case anything came up that required their decision or potentially testimony. Also, we were planning on calling the former occupant or owners as a witness, Brendan Goggin. Brendan is unavailable tonight because he is at his mom's 80th birthday party that's going on tonight. We would, of course, waive any time constraints with respect to the hearing and the timing. I did call the counsel for the other party, Ed Rimmer. The counsel is Bob Donahue. I talked to Bob this morning. I understand he objects to the continuance request, but our position is that there would be no prejudice as a result of this rather modest delay.
Thank you. Mr. Donahue?
Yes, thank you. And good evening, board members. My name is Daniel Donahue. Bob is my partner. The reason we're opposed, there are a couple of reasons, but the primary reason is that it sounds like the main objective of the continuance is to change the plans. We've already had about 2 hours of testimony from the architect with regard to the details of the plans. We've already had the public here that gave public comment about the plans. And then suddenly, in the middle of the process, the plans want to change. And I would submit to the ladies and gentlemen of the board that that's not fair to the public. It doesn't provide them adequate notice. They've already given their testimony. They likely feel as though they know what the plan is, and suddenly, in the middle of the process, want to change it. I would submit to the board that the appropriate remedy would be to withdraw the motion, or withdraw the application and refile the application with a new plan.
Mr. Donahue, are you suggesting that in a zoning application in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that whatever plans are initially submitted to a zoning board must be the only plans that are there, and there can be no modification or attempts during a proceeding to address concerns of the public or a protestant?
I wouldn't say that as a general rule, council, but what I would say is I think in fairness to the public, they at least need to know about the change of the
Okay,
plans.
Pennsylvania is a notice state, correct?
Yes,
And the notice that's required here is they want to have rooftop dining, correct?
yes, I don't know.
Your understanding is not that they're saying we don't want rooftop dining anymore. They're just trying to accommodate some of the concerns, such as perhaps the noise that the one neighbor down at the corner was addressing or something else, correct? So what facts do you have sitting here today before this board, rather than just to simply, try to bully the board into having an application withdrawn that suggests that anything other than was properly advertised under the MPC is being changed? What facts do you have?
I don't have any facts because I haven't seen
I'll
the new
suggest
plans.
that the board grant the continuance.
And I would just note that I'm not trying to bully anyone. I'm just noting my
With
objection.
with all due respect, what you're saying is not what the law of the Commonwealth says. The law of the Commonwealth is the notice requirement. The notice that's required is what is contained in the application. The notice is not changed, and unless you have something to suggest that they're asking for something more, not less, more than was requested, unless you have a fact
I
or a
don't.
reason to believe that, then sitting here today is a waste of the resources of this board.
I understand.
Thanks. I would recommend the board approve the continuance.
What's our next hearing date?
October 3rd.
Kel? What's our agenda look like for the? Okay, then we'll continue this case to our October 3rd hearing. You're welcome. Our first new case is case Z19-25, Stephen A. Fantini and Cynthia L. Fantini, owner of 206 Walnut Place, Havertown, PA, folio number 2208010670, who seek a variance of the provisions of section 182-207C7 to encroach into the required 25-foot rear yard setback by 6 feet to allow construction of a 6-foot by 15-foot addition. Property is R5 and located in the 8th Ward. How you doing?
Good evening, board members and neighbors.
I need to swear you. in.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Stephen A. Fantini, 206 Walnut Place, Havertown, PA.
Mr. Fantini, the board received your application as well as the plot plan that was provided. The plot plan provided to this board does not have all the measurements that the board would typically have, and copies are now being made of the one with those measurements on it. So why don't we just go off the record for 5 minutes and see if we can get that all together for the board? Okay, so
Okay.
just have a seat for a second. We're off the record.
Sure.
So in looking at your application, there are a few things missing that you really need in order to understand exactly what it is that you're asking relief from. We need a surveyed plot plan with actual measurements of the setbacks.
Okay.
An accurate depiction of your entire existing building envelope. So with real measurements. From the diagram that you attach to your application, it's really difficult to get a clear picture. Like, I don't know what new grass means versus yard or the heavy black line at the back. Each side indicates a measurement of 8 feet 6 inches, but in the drawing at least, one side appears to be, side yard setback appears to be much bigger than the other. So this isn't the scale,
Okay.
obviously.
Right.
And we need to be precise when we think about these things. So any impervious coverage, I want you to identify on a better diagram when you bring it. Anything else?
Yeah, if you could, whenever we look at these additions and we're looking at variances, we're asked to think about stormwater runoff and what the additional building might cause as far as runoff. And there's a couple things that we look at. One is the topography of the land. So in a survey of your land, ask your guide to show the height of the land and its changes on your property so we can see generally how water runs on your property. If it runs to the front, runs to the back. And then however you're going to put gutters or downspouts on this addition, so you are going to try to control or direct stormwater or rainfall on your roof. Where is that going? Just so we can see in relation to the topography of the ground where it's likely to end up.
Right. The addition's going on a driveway. It's just taking a piece out of an impervious surface driveway.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah, but this way, then we'll know when the water does come down to the driveway or to the, next to the, where the driveway used to be, where's it going? But, yeah, I mean, everything from where your driveway, parking areas, walls, I don't know if that black line indicates a wall in the back of your property, but each one should be marked so we know what it is that we're looking at when we're doing a bird's eye view like this.
Okay.
The other question I had, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
The issue is where you're putting the kitchen associated with a driveway that used to be a garage in there, and then you're taking it out?
Well, no, the garage was converted by the previous owner to a ADA accessible. That's what that little ramp is there. It's an ADA 3-foot doorway accessible opening into the property, into the building. So all we're doing is bumping the wall out 5 to 6 feet, not right up to the edge of that ramp, so to speak, to make the kitchen a little bit bigger.
Okay, was there additional paving out front? Because you have a shared driveway. I'm not sure that you have two spots left to park.
Oh, I have a spot out front for 2 vehicles.
That would need to be shown too. That's, so we can know that you have the existing parking that's required by the ordinance.
Okay, I thought it was shown there, but my mistake, I'll get that updated. I was more focused on the back area, trying to show what we're doing in the back.
Okay,
So, okay.
thank you.
And you mentioned a ramp. Where,
Well, there was a little ramp going up to the back doorway from the driveway. That back area is a turnabout area. It's a shared driveway with a turnabout. So what we're trying to do is just make the kitchen a little bit bigger, not affect the neighbors at all. And that back area is still convertible into a driveway area in the back there because that new grass could actually be removed. And, for anybody else that wanted parking in the back. We're abandoning the parking in the back. We like a little bit of a yard.
So on your plan then, it should say, existing concrete to be removed. So we'll know where it says new grass, is that concrete now?
No, there's grass there.
Oh, okay.
There's grass. When you look at it, there's grass. It's a nice little courtyard
And
area.
that planter box is there now?
Yeah, it's just a planter box sitting on the blacktop. Yeah. That all is good. You just want to see the concrete pad out in the front, and then you
In
want
the
to see better
front,
numbers?
And then, you should show the building envelope. My guess is that your current house already is non-conforming for your rear yard setback.
Correct.
And so you're not making that nonconformity worse, but you're still building into that rear yard setback. So we need to see where exactly is the existing house relative to the what we call, what's the building envelope? Where could you build within the setbacks? So then we can see what is the existing nonconformity and how you're adding to it, although maybe not making it worse.
Right. In my mind, I'm trying to stay within if you were to make it a big square, I'm just trying to stay within the square and not extend. So my neighbors on one side of me pushed out within 5 feet of the property line already, and when they got their variance probably 30, 40 years ago. So I don't want to go bigger.
right, anything else that anyone?
Just pictures are always helpful too, if you have time. Take some pictures just of what the back of the house looks like. And
I brought
those-
some.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But when it's time and we
Perfect.
can have a complete conversation, I'll do my part on that.
Great.
Great.
Mr. Fantini, when you do, could you bring copies of the pictures for each of the board
I
members?
did.
Great. And you think you could have that plot plan, the surveyed plot plan in time for the October 3 hearing, or do you think you need until the October 17th?
Do you need a surveyor to do it, or can I just revise my drawing and clean it up and give you a?
The way the code reads, ask for a surveyor to do it.
Okay, I wish the zoning officer would have told me that, because then I would have had that.
Right, so do you think you can do October 3, or you think October 17 is better for you?
Probably 17, because I gotta
Just
find
timing-wise?
somebody and see if they have time, and if you know anything about construction in the Philadelphia area, everybody is running crazy.
Right, understood.
Okay. Then the 17th would be better for you? October
Yes.
17th? All right. With that, we'll continue this case to October 17th. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Like you're starting to argue.
All right, our next new case this evening is Z19-26, Mr. Bao Han and Nanjing Wei, owners of 622 Walnut Lane, Havertown, PA, folio number 2205-0108-300, who seek a variance from the provisions of section 182-206C6A to demolish an existing carport and build a garage encroaching in the side yard setback by 4 feet. Property is zoned R4 and located in the 5th ward. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I consent.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
First name is Biao, B-I-A-O, and last name is Han, H-A-N. Oh, sorry. Thank you. First name is Biao, B-I-A-O, and last name is Han, H-A-N, and our address is 622 Walnut Lane, Haverford, PA 19041.
Mr. Hahn, provided with the application was a plot plan with elevations, with a little Z1 on the bottom.
Okay.
Do you want the board to review this and consider it with your application? You want them to see this plan, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What's attached to the application is not necessarily an exhibit, so we're going to mark this as Exhibit A1.
Okay.
Okay, do you have any other drawings, pictures, or anything else that you're going to want the board to look at tonight?
Actually, I have this drawing, so do you want me to present it to
You can bring it to me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mark those as Exhibit A2 and A3. So just give me 1 minute, we're going to have those all marked. If you could for the board.
Thank you. Yes, I get it. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thank you.
That's two.
2 and 3. 2 and 3.
You have the originals.
You have 3 up top.
Do you have the original? Can I identify them for the...
So just for completeness of the record, Exhibit A1 is plot plan, and elevation, correct?
Yep.
A2 is a sketch or a plot plan, sheet number SK1, entitled Existing Plans with the proposed new garage on it, correct? And A3 is a front elevation, as well as a garage section side view of the garage, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, now that that's out of the way, please tell us a little bit about what you would like to do.
We are actually trying to demolish the current carport and build a garage that's 4 feet wider than the current carport. Because currently the carport is too narrow, so when we drive a car in, basically I can only open one side door by pulling the car towards the other side. So, you know, it's practically not quite usable, and if I make it wider, it's going to violate with the against the setback rule, because the accumulated setback of the of both sides will need to be 20 feet by the zoning code. Yes.
Question? Ed?
Do you know what the side yard setback is that you're required to have in your zoning district?
The zoning district requires 8 feet for each side and 20 feet for accumulation.
8 feet, so you need 8 feet's the minimum, and then you have to have,
20 for the accumulation on both sides.
okay, so you don't have the 20 feet with this modification.
Yeah.
You want to go down 4 feet, make it less 4 feet than required.
But I'm still maintaining the 8 feet minimum for both sides.
Yeah, the 8, yeah, you still have to meet the cumulative.
Yep, yep, yep.
Have you met with your neighbor?
Yes, actually, my dear neighbor Dave is here. So he's living on he's living in the property that's next to this side of the garage. I mean, the proposed garage.
And did he voiced any objection to you?
I don't think he has expressed any objections to me directly. But if you have any objection, feel free to.
He can, yeah, he'll have an opportunity at the end of the hearing.
Yeah.
to Address that. Just see if you had any input at first. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you.
Yes?
Your existing carport, is that 12 feet from your property line as it's built?
Could you be a little bit more clear? So-
Sure. So the carport that you have now, what's the dimension from your property line to the outside of the carport? Is it 12 feet?
It's actually attached to the. Oh, you are talking about the property line, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's 12 feet.
It is 12
yes.
feet,
Yeah,
okay.
it is 12 feet. Yes.
And did you look at, with your architect, or do you know if the architect looked at making the garage maybe shallower, or is what you're showing the minimum length that you need?
Actually, the length of this garage is actually longer than the carport, because what we are trying to do is not only to make it wider, but also to attach it to the back of the building, so that to make the roof flush. And also we have a door that goes to the outside from the second floor sunroom. So after this, that door will become the interior door of the garage. I think it's shown in the plan, actually.
Yes.
So there will be stairs inside the garage. So the proposed garage is pretty long. It's actually 28 feet in length.
Would you be opposed to a condition that would require a shorter garage, for example?
Yeah, I'm open to all these. I mean, actually, there are like a few options. I mean, it depends on what the neighbor thinks and what the board thinks. Yeah.
Okay. And is 12 feet, the interior of the garage is 12 feet clear?
Yes.
Based on the
Yeah, the
plan.
proposed garage is. Yeah,
Is that the minimum that you need to be able to open a door on both sides, in your opinion?
Obviously, you know, if it can be wider, that would be much better, but I don't want, you know, go too far from here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
No further questions.
Bill?
So one of the results, I think, of your project is that your impervious coverage will increase slightly.
Yes, yes.
And we see the proposed garage as being roughly, 12 feet by 28 feet inside.
Yes.
There's some existing stairs to be demolished, which I
Yes.
think, is that an L-shaped stair right now that, I guess, goes to a side door? Where does that stair go?
That stairs actually is a three-way stairs. Right now, one end is to the backyard, one end is to the inside of the carport, and the other end is actually to the door of the on the second floor sunroom. So yeah.
It enters the house on the second floor of the house.
Yes.
But it stairs down to the backyard and stairs down to the carport.
Yes.
And is the kitchen or the living space on the second floor of the house?
It's actually that second floor I'm talking about is actually opposed to the basement actually. So that's actually essentially the first floor if I enter from the front. Yes. Sorry.
It's more or less the ground floor?
Yeah, it's actually the ground floor. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. And so the carport was smaller. It's hard to, we don't have the dimensions there, but the stairs, you're removing stairs too. And so the calculation where you're only going from 42% to 44%,
Yes.
that's reflective of the removal of the stairs and the bigger garage as opposed to the smaller carport.
I think that's right.
And then on the plans, let's see, the house has a foundation that runs the length of the existing house, right, underneath the siding?
Yeah, I believe so.
And is that a stone foundation, or is
I believe it is a stone foundation, but yeah, I'm
but
not
the
sure.
facade on the garage will not match that, right?
I won't.
It won't. And just to confirm, currently on your side yard setback, you don't meet the 20-foot aggregate currently, is that right?
I believe I meet the 20-foot aggregate currently.
Well, I'll just point out that on Exhibit A1, on your zoning conformance schedule, it shows that your required 20-foot aggregate side yard
Yes,
setback,
yes.
and your existing is only 19 feet 1 inch, so you're
It's
slightly
not-
under the
Oh, okay.
required already.
Okay.
And
I was,
so
I
that,
was not aware of that. Sorry.
You're adding to your non-conformity by 3 feet 1
Okay.
inch.
Okay.
Okay. And is there any other impervious, other than your driveway and your house and the carport, are there other impervious elements on your property as far as, I think there's an existing patio, but that's not being removed, is that right?
That's not.
Okay.
That's not touched.
And is there any other, you have a shed in the back, is that staying?
Actually, that shed is right now we are proposing to erect it, but actually we are not planning to build it at this moment because we are actually doing the construction for the second floor right now. But
So would you be okay if we condition an approval that you don't build?
the shed?
A shed?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no
I mean,
problem.
in theory, you could put the things in the shed that you were gonna put there in your garage?
Yeah,
or not?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Okay,
What's your plans for the runoff gutters downspout?
The gutters downspout. I think that they are going to run to the same stormwater drains as current.
It's existing?
Yeah,
You know.
existing. Yes.
But that's all I have.
So those existing stormwater drains, do they run underground?
Yes, they do. They run
And,
underground. Yes.
do you know that they run out to the street, or what happens to that water when it pours off your roof and down your gutters?
Honestly, I have little knowledge about this, but I know that there are some ports in my lawn. I can see them, so they form a stormwater line. But I don't know where they run to, but I believe they run into the city drain. The
You said city drain.
city drain.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Jess?
No.
Ed?
Yeah, if you could just explain the difference between A2 and A1. There's some measurements that look a little different. What, it looked like a copy at first, but then I'm looking at different measurements. Like, the side of the garage was 28.6 on A2, but then 28.8 on A1. So why is there a difference?
I believe the difference is caused by the wall thickness, or
Excuse me?
Wall thickness.
because I mean, honestly, I have to check with the architect, because this is actually the drawing from the architect directly.
Well,
So,
why I asked that, the board needs to know the
Yeah.
exact numbers we're talking about. So-
Okay, I understand. As of now, I don't have the number in my mind, so I don't want to give you a number that's later proven to be wrong.
Do you know why you submitted A2 then? What is the difference between A2 and A1 in this drawing? This A2?
This A2,
Looks
yes.
like the same thing here, other than that 2 inches.
I believe these two are actually just updated drawing. Actually, I think the A2 is actually the updated drawing, because the A1 was the drawing that the architect gave me probably like a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago. So.
So so A1 is the numbers that you would be willing to go by and be held to that standard?
This one.
Actually, A2.
Well, A2 is dated 7/8/19. A1 is dated 7/12/19.
Okay.
So this is the later.
Okay. So yeah.
So you would stand by A1?
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
then we should, are you sure you want to enter A2 into the record? Does that make sense?
You already
It's
did.
Well, it's in the record, but I think there's
We should ignore
clarification.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about the confusion.
Okay, the only other thing is that in order for us to rule in favor of an application or against an application, certain things have to be met. And one of them is hardship. I haven't heard you mention why you have to have this garage.
Actually, this is the reason is about this carport, because right now this carport is almost not useful. Because if I drive my car in, I can barely open the door. So most of the time we're not using this carport, and it's a waste of space. So we basically have the two different options. One is to completely demolish the carport to make some room for any other purpose, or I'm thinking about building this garage, because right now we are building a second floor of this building. So if I demolish the carport, it will look too empty on this side. So I believe building a garage will make the building more beautiful, at least, and also because on the Walnut Lane, the parking is quite, I would say, the parking space is not very abundant. So if I make another parking space here, it's going to help with the parking situation there as well.
Okay, have you looked at the option of putting a standalone garage in the rear of your property?
Yes, I did. Actually, I discussed this with the architect, but he says that due to the small size of the yard, it is not possible to put a detached garage in the lawn.
And why wasn't it possible?
Because the township has, the code has several requirements on the rear and side setback from the detached garage to the property line, and also it has to meet the percentage of the yard use, and also we also have to basically modify the whole lawn to convert the grass into the driveway. So. it's less favorable than directly converting this carport to a garage.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you.
What did you say you're building upstairs?
Actually, currently the building is a one-story building plus a walkout basement. So we are actually building a second floor on top of that. That's yeah.
And this is a single-family residential
Yeah,
use,
yeah, single-family residential use. Yes.
not rental?
No, we're not renting at all. That's for our family.
Bill, do you have anything else?
No, let me just confirm that as far as the garage, you're not looking to operate a business out of your garage or anything like that?
No, just for our own car.
Anything else?
Nothing further.
Everybody good? Anything you'd like to add?
No.
I'll just check. With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Yes, sir. Please come forward. You can have a seat. Please raise your right hand.
Thank you.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
David Woods, 618 Walnut Lane in Haverford.
And what would you like to tell us, David?
I would just like to say that I would prefer that the garage not encroach any closer to our property, that there's already a very narrow space between our property and the other house on the other side, and it just would increase the sense of density in the neighborhood than what's already there. It would just create a feeling that our house is more squeezed into the space that's there. I have no objection to converting the carport into a garage, but I would just prefer that the garage not be quite as large and encroach upon the setback limits that are already in place.
Well, what he's testified to is that in order to construct the garage there, it needs to be wider. You
Yes,
heard it. You were
I
saying it.
understand. Well,
So, I don't-
there is, in the carport space, it seems to me you could just build a garage on that, in that space itself.
But it would still, and I haven't seen it.
No, it'd be
agree
a very
that
narrow
need to be
garage,
wider.
I understand that, and many of the garages on our street, and there are only about 4 or 5 garages on the street. Most of the rest of the street is on-street parking, and all those other garages are detached garages, some in the backs of the properties. So it would get a feeling of increasing the amount of density in that space, including the addition of the second floor on top of the house, making that feel from the street and from our point of view, making our property feel squeezed in between these two large properties.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Woods? Bill? Kenny?
No.
Jess?
No.
Ed?
No question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else present that received certified mail? Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents of Haverford Township? With that, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on October 3rd. Good evening. Your decisions. And just FYI. All right, we're adjourned.